Good morning, everybody. I hope you're doing well. Before I go to work today, I will get the Kroger ad out that started today. I'm sorry I didn't get it done last night, but I was tangled up. So let's move on. We'll get that out later. Well, to those people who say that people who speak out against the criminal king, the regime, and MAGA are evil demons, um, doing the work of Satan. I have to say that that's pretty rich coming from the most hypocritical, narcissistic group of people I have ever seen in my entire life that follow a criminal king and his mafia regime and are okay with taking the right of freedom of speech away from people because they don't agree with them. I think that MAGA Christians are absolutely insane. I believe that now that they think that everybody that speaks out against Trump and his regime are evil, are insane. You're insane. Because most of the people that speak out against Trump are not racist against other races. They're not they're not okay with school shootings, slaughtering our children. They speak out about that. They speak out about women who are dying from not getting reproductive health care. They speak out about children getting fed at school, children getting programs to help them eat, people, seniors, veterans, disabled people getting their SNAP benefits, their Meals on Wheels. We speak out about the things that are important, not the things that are not important. You know, yesterday, Trump spoke at the UN, and that was absolutely the most embarrassing yet. That was embarrassing. And if you could sit there and listen to that and think, oh my goodness, there's my leader, you are insane. You're nuts. You're psycho. Because the things that he said were absolutely crazy. Then you also had people from the MAGA regime threatening the UN for an escalator, for a teleprompter. But the escalator deal was just crazy. Like, you're going to do an investigation, file charges, and imprison someone who turned off the escalator. Well, we find out that it was actually Trump's photographer had clicked a button or some sort of stop button. You see, that's what happens when you go after people without the facts. Like you all went after Jimmy Kimmel saying that he lied. Like you all went after Jimmy Kimmel because he speaks out against our criminal king and tells you the truth about him. Speaking out before the facts is exactly what MAGA is known for. That's hypocrisy, narcissism, and a few other things I could throw in there. To the MAGA Christians who were ready for the rapture, I really wish you would have went. I really do, because then you would have to stand in front of God for judgment as he brings you through the gates, and I don't think you would pass the judgment. Now that's me throwing judgment, true, but you know that God created black people and Asian people and Latinos and the little pygmies in the rainforest. These are all God's creations. And what Trump said about immigration and what we see in our country with ICE and the bounty hunters, that's wrong. But Trump is a very disgusting, despicable person. And how he spoke to the UN, we're in a lot of trouble. We are in a lot of trouble. What he said was so disrespectful and unnecessary. When he talked about windmills, which are actually wind turbines, to countries that actually have science about green energy, and the things that he said were stupid. Not wanting green energy is stupid. It's stupid. You know, they'll toss this coal and oil at you so that you're not looking at the problems of doing AI and robotic um, into our employment, into more factories, taking more jobs away. The fact that when he was talking about the Mexicans and the brown skinned people were taking all of the black jobs, he's wanting to force blacks into the fields and do the jobs that our immigrants came in. So no, I don't I don't believe that if MAGA Christians were raptured, they would be judged well. Wishing death on people, some of the MAGA bubbas with their ball sacks on their trucks and their big flags, they're ready to kill people. For what? Why are you wanting to kill people? I don't get it. January 6th, we saw what MAGA Christians were like, and the idea that our criminal king wants to imprison people for what they say with free speech, or deport people who are working here trying to go through the legal process of becoming U.S. citizens. He's ready to deport them into death camps or wherever in the world. But he let loose some of the most violent criminals that we've ever seen in our nation January 6th at our Capitol, beating police officers. He talks about, oh, well, the police, we've got to take care of our police. Well, you didn't take care of them that day. And every time that he says that he offered 10,000 National Guard to Pelosi was an absolute lie. And you still believe that. You still believe that. Do you still believe that our inflation is under control and that prices have gone down? Because that's what he says. That's what he said to the United Nations. Here's the problem. Y'all voted because you thought our economy was propped up on sticks. The fact of the matter, and even he said that we have the strongest economy in the world, or did, when he took office. Same way when he took office from Obama. And then Biden had to fix that problem after Trump. And now Biden has handed him one of the strongest economies that he is crashing, burning, breaking. I've talked about Cuba before. I've talked about how the people became very resilient and self reliant. This is what we have to do. We have to outsmart the economy. We have to outsmart those who would put us in jail for something we say, and let the people that would beat us out. His private army of ICE, the bounty hunters. Absolutely ridiculous. That's his army. And they are to fight the civilians that want to protest. They are to fight the left liberal progressives. That's what they're doing. That's what they are for. And that's what he's turning the National Guard into. You know, I was so happy to see Kimmel show himself because we all know that he is a caring person. I've seen him tear up over many things, but I liked watching his show, and I'm glad that the people stepped up. So I'm telling you, MAGA, there are a lot of us. You all think you're this grand majority of the people in this country, and that's just not true. You didn't win by a landslide. And as a matter of fact, there's probably some criminal activity between him and Elon and some voting things that happened. And I believe that. You know that he's in the Epstein files and he has refused to release them. You have to think, do I really want this individual who is absolutely becoming demented every day? I worked with Alzheimer's. Um, I worked in an Alzheimer's research center. I worked with Alzheimer residents. I took extra courses on dementia and Alzheimer's. And I'm telling you, as as a professional with training, he has the true signs of dementia. Whether it's Alzheimer's or it's just old age dementia, it's hitting him fast. If you read what he says in any speech, if you get the transcripts and read, you will be absolutely amazed if you actually try to comprehend what he says. You'll lose your mind trying to read it. Our crazy criminal king has not made us stronger in the eyes of the world. And I know you guys want to be isolationists and you want to America first, but he's bailing out Argentina. And I thought that was important to bring up because if you want to be America first, why are you helping the economy of another country that was bankrupted like the one that we have right now in our country? Building ballrooms and having UFC fights and having a club on the Rose Garden. I mean, you've got to see this eventually. He is a con artist and he conned you. But just remember, seeing Kimmel come back will show you how much power protest has. And I'm very proud of it. Y'all have a great day. Hugs from a distance. I got to go to work. I got to go get the puppy up and get her set for the day. And I need to go get that other video done. So, got to go. Let me check my notes real quick. Oh, the escalator was turned off by his own photographer. I don't know if I said that. And that MAGA was threatening people over that. You see how dumb that is? What else did I have? The teleprompter not working. You remember how he went on and on and on about Biden having to read a teleprompter? Isn't it a little bit of a hypocrisy thing? Yeah. Y'all have a great day. Hugs from a distance. I gotta go to work. Bye, y'all.